Hey everybody, happy Sunday. What's going on YouTube? It's your girl Fair Play here, back to do another video. Um, yeah, y'all, as promised on last night, I told you on a podcast that I was going to be doing a little bit of my own catch up on Wendy Williams. Of course, it won't be about everything that has happened over the past couple of months, but it'll be about the few things that have stood out to me. And I kind of wanted to talk about them weeks ago when it came up or when it happened, but I just didn't have the chance to. So now I know I seem like I'm late. I know it's late because everybody else has already gone over all this stuff, but I kind of just wanted to come in and give my 2 cents on the matter, um, because I think it's just what I do. You know what I'm saying? And a few of the things I wanted to talk about was Black China and her relationship with Tokyo Toni, according to Wendy Williams. And I also wanted to talk about what Wendy Williams had to say about Puff Daddy as it pertains to Aubrey O'Day, who was once the lead singer of Danity Kane. And I also want to talk about Wendy Williams' upcoming biopic that's going to come out in 2020 and give you some details on that. And something else I found out today that I did not know, that Wendy had actually done a few years ago, but we just never found out about it. I want to talk about that, and I also want to talk about the fact that Wendy Williams' home has finally been put up for sale, and which tells us that it is almost at the end of the marriage between Wendy Williams and Kelvin Hunter. Somebody please play a small cello of sadness with some sad music, okay? But anyway, first things first. Okay, back a couple of weeks ago, somebody actually sent me an article about what Tokyo Toni had to say about Wendy Williams and how she cussed her out on Instagram or whatever video she was filming that day. You know, Tokyo Toni, we know, is a train wreck, has always been a train wreck, but not everything Tokyo Toni says is a lie. And we all know that Tokyo Toni, when you're talking about her, you have to be careful about talking about her, because she don't care what she say. If she knows anything about you, she's going to come out and she's going to throw you under the bus, which is what she apparently did to Wendy Williams in that profane and vile video that she posted and that we saw on YouTube back a couple of weeks ago. And I said, well, let me go see what Tokyo Toni is talking about. Well, I went and I pulled up some articles, and I also pulled up a clip of Wendy Williams' show. And Wendy Williams had, after we know that she had been hanging out with Black China, she had actually hung out with Black China and Tokyo Toni all at the same time. And this was a result of some comments that Wendy Williams made on her show, I guess back around July 18th. She made some comments about Tokyo Toni and Black China's relationship as it pertains to her when she hooked up with them, earlier in July. And before I give my little bit of commentary on it, I actually want to let you hear the clip. I'm going to play the clip from YouTube, you guys, and I hope you can hear it on here. I don't have my Bluetooth on this time, but I'm going to play that clip, and then I'm going to give my commentary. But the article that I pulled up first about Tokyo Toni accusing Wendy Williams, now in her rant, she accused her of still using cocaine. Now, we kind of knew a little bit about this when she had her relapse back some months ago when she had to go to that rehab place in New York. We knew that Wendy Williams was having some type of addiction problem. We knew it was alcohol, and we suspected that it was drugs. She never confirmed drug addiction, but we kind of figured that it was. It wasn't necessary for her to tell us that, but we kind of picked up on the fact that, yeah, it probably was some drug use in there. It was more than just alcohol. But anyway, again, Tokyo Toni accused her of being on cocaine, and there may be some truth to that. But this article was posted on page 6, back on July 22nd, okay? And it starts off saying that Wendy Williams' newfound friendship with Black China apparently doesn't extend to the reality star's mother, Tokyo Toni, or as Lovely T so affectionately calls her, Teriyaki Tina. I just giggled and chuckled my head off when I heard that. So anyway, China and her mom have been publicly feuding. Though they seem to temporarily make amends, it's clear that didn't last long. So Williams, who is 55 years old now, discussed the ongoing feud between the mother-daughter duo on her show that week, July 18th. Now the fans, though, this is what Wendy Williams said, and I'm going to play the clip for you. Fans, though, are outraged over how her mother, Tokyo Toni, treated Black China. Wendy Williams said before sharing a clip from China's reality show, The Real Black China. That showed Toni cursing out her daughter. Along with that, she also said something to the effect that you can kill yourself, I don't care. Toni, take this the best way, because when we last talked to you, when we last talked, this is Wendy Williams talking about Tokyo Toni. She says, take this the best way, because when we last talked, you were hugging me and crying and telling me that you and China, when we spent all day together, and it was great. And all you kept telling me was, Wendy, thank you, because she added, all I'm saying is you only have one mother. So Wendy Williams started talking about the relationship between Blac Chyna and Tokyo Toni on her show. I'm not saying that she was necessarily wrong about the things that she said, but some of the stance that Wendy took in her commentary on this mother-daughter relationship, I felt like she was out of order. Okay, but I'm going to let you hear her commentary in a minute. I'm not going to try to put words in her mouth, and this article does not go into detail about that. Basically, Tokyo Toni said that Wendy Williams was lying about her crying and hugging on her, telling her thank you, because Tokyo Toni said that she didn't even want to be there. So we're gonna, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Well, anyway, let me go ahead and play this clip right quick. I have fast forwarded up to the point where right before she started talking about Tokyo Toni and Blac Chyna. So here we go.
From the time I get out of bed in the morning, I mean, the show is here on TV, but there's a whole other show going on behind the scenes and the whole bit. Oh, I can't breathe. All right, so Blac Chyna, my friend Angela, is on the plane right now, but before she got on the plane, I did get a chance to talk to her. You know, her show debuted the other night on Zeus, and she's got a reality show, and it's featuring her mother and the children and all that goes on in her life. Well, that was episode number 1, so if you're late, you're not too late. All right, that's her mother, Tokyo Toni, and that's Blac Chyna. 2 very beautiful women, I might add. Fans, though, are outraged over how her mother, Tokyo Toni, treated Chyna. Just take a look. Nobody took care of your ass but me. I'm ready to get ASAP after this.
5 days.
You put your hand in my face again, girl.
5 days.
You're going to stretch your ass across the kitchen. You better keep your hands on my face.
5 days.
Don't touch me no more. You do it again, I'm going to rock your world in this. Don't do that. Keep playing with me.
All right, bye.
Do it again, bitch. I'm going to
In the house.
Bye, bitch.
Bye.
I'm gone.
Along with that, she also said something to the effect Tokyo did to Chyna. You know, you can kill yourself. I don't care. Tokyo does not live in LA. She lives in DC. She does not want to live in Chyna's mansion. And by the way, that was Chyna's house. I've been there, I know. That was her kitchen. I'm an insider. Tokyo's back in DC, and she did get a check, of course, for being on the Zeus show. She threatens that she does not want to be on season 2 if the show gets picked up for a second season. I beg to differ. I totally believe Tokyo Toni. And Toni, take this in the best way, because when last we talked, you were hugging me and crying, and me, you, Chyna, we spent all day together, and it was great. And all you kept telling me was, Wendy, thank you. Like I had something to do, I guess she might think, with bringing them back together. But all I'm saying is you only have one mother, and that, I live by that. You only have one mother. You know? And shout out to the dads, but you're second in command to moms. Moms do it all, including birth you, gain the weight, and get the nose spread. So when last I left them, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and everybody was still chilling. Me, Jack A, my friend Reg, Tokyo, like over at Chyna's mansion. And I thought everything was fine. Then I watched the show, and then I recall, okay, wait, the show might have been filmed ahead of time. So I get on the phone right before coming out here today and call Chyna. I'm like, all right, we're about to do this on Hot Topics, and the Bureau, along with me, want to know what you have to say, if anything, about this, because I want accuracy in how I report it. Part of me and you being friends, I told you, I still have to talk about you. You're not going to mess up my day job. You know, please, everybody, believe me, just because I've become friends with certain people doesn't mean they won't, can give it to them here too, but I can at least call them and get the truth. Chyna has always had a really, really messed up relationship with her mother, and And in my opinion, this is my opinion, I said to China, I said, I think your mother is more concerned about the spotlight than she is about you. And then China reminded me of a story that she told me in the mansion that night. You know, we're all sitting around folding our legs on the couch and stuff and just chit-chatting. The kids are running around the cube, eating Oreos and everything. You know, Tokyo Toni used to be a stripper. And China says that Toni got pregnant after a one-night stand. So you know how sometimes there's some women who look at the kids in a weird way because they don't like the father or the circumstance? I'm not a psychiatrist, but I am Ask Wendy, so I do know some things.
Except how to bridle that tongue. She know how to do some stuff except bridle her tongue.
I am 55, which means I've lived a little bit.
A young fool turned to an old fool if they don't learn no better.
Tomorrow I'm going to wear this all day, too.
I think that's the end.
And I'm going to be out
I think that's all I wanted to share. Okay, again, Wendy does a gossip, messy show, and I get her talking about Blac Chyna in Tokyo. But I think she was wrong to share the information that Blac Chyna gave her in private about Tokyo Toni. She's friend with Blac Chyna, not Tokyo Toni. And Tokyo Toni is still Blac Chyna's mother. So I don't think Wendy Williams knows when to let up or how to talk about things that she wants to talk about. I think she should have completely left Tokyo Toni's name out of her mouth. She shouldn't have. Her being a stripper in the past had nothing to do with any of this. And her being raped to create Chyna, that had nothing to do with anything. She should have just talked about Chyna and talked about how Chyna relates to her mother and maybe did some encouragement to Blac Chyna and left Tokyo Toni's name out of her mouth. That is why Tokyo Toni came back a couple of days later and just dog cussed her on social media. Tokyo Toni says that Wendy Williams is lying about the hugging and crying and thank you for getting us back together part. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. I can't see why Wendy would lie about that. But in any case, Wendy Williams opened up the door for this contention because she put her mouth on somebody on something that has something to do with a mother-daughter relationship. Regardless of how she feels about Tokyo Toni and how Tokyo Toni appears to treat Blac Chyna, that is still Chyna's mother. And their relationship will always be special. Hopefully and prayerfully they get it together and they work it out and one day that they make amends. But I think Wendy Williams puts her mouth on people in the wrong way. I think she just did it in the wrong way. That's all I'm saying. She should have basically just stuck to Blac Chyna and her relationship with Blac Chyna. She should never have told any business about Tokyo Toni. I mean, a lot of this stuff we already know anyway. But she opened herself up to get dogged and drugged on social media by Tokyo Toni. And I just really feel like she shouldn't do that. Wendy Williams has too many problems of her own, too much going on in her own closet to be putting her mouth on another person's relationship, especially one between her mother and daughter. And I'm just telling you, I don't know, it's not a likable situation. I know people love drama and mess, but to me, it's just not a good look for a 55-year-old woman to tell things that somebody told them in private. Even if she felt like Blac Chyna didn't care if she told it, you still had Tokyo Toni to contend with. She should have thought about whether or not Tokyo Toni wanted her to tell her business. But I guess that's Wendy. Wendy don't care what she say until somebody beat her up and drag her up and down Fifth Avenue. She ain't gonna get it. She ain't gonna get it till somebody drag her. That's all I'm saying. Talk about Chyna. Chyna didn't care. But her mother obviously did care, and she should have known better. I have way more better sense than to get on my radio show and say something about somebody that I know don't want to be talked about, and somebody I'm not friends with, I don't have a relationship with, and somebody that I know is vulgar and is as rowdy as Tokyo Toni. I thought it was stupid of Wendy. Honestly, I did. And that's just what I wanted to say about that. She does this all the time. That's just one example of her many times putting her mouth on a situation that she shouldn't put her mouth on, or putting her mouth on something in the wrong way. That's just an example. Okay, that's why this is one of the reasons why I don't watch her show. I watch clips from her show and people send them to me, and when I see articles, but I would never sit up and watch a whole show of Wendy Williams. After about 15 minutes, I'm sick of hearing her mouth anyway. Okay, I don't hate the woman. She just ain't my cup of tea. So that's just one example I wanted to bring up. And also for the clip that she showed of the real Blac Chyna show that comes on this Zeus station that I've never seen. The whole time I saw that clip, and I seen it once before, me and my coworkers were watching it together one day, And it looked like a whole bunch of faking and acting. Yes, I know Tokyo Toni and Black China have a tumultuous relationship. They do. But that just seemed very phony. It seemed scripted and contrived. And it just seemed dramatic to me. It just seemed fake to me in the first place. It really did. It seemed very fake. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about. The second thing I wanted to talk about, and I don't know when this show actually came up. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. This is the show where she mentioned um, Aubrey O'Day on her show. Let me see. Hold on, let me pull it up. And Puff Daddy. And for those of you that don't know who Aubrey O'Day is the white girl that used to be the lead singer of Danity Kane. I never heard a song they made, but I know who they are. They were a group that was to be produced by Puff Daddy back a few years ago when he did his Making the Band show. They were one of them, and he wound up basically firing the whole group, but he fired Aubrey O'Day from the group as well. And here recently, some tweets went up, and and I just, because we all know that Puff Daddy is getting ready to bring out, to reproduce Making the Band again. And some fans took to Twitter to state their stance on Making the Band and what they had to say. Well, here's an article that I pulled from 2Fab. It says, earlier the week, this was the week of July 19th now, so earlier that week, it says the music mogul announced, talking about Puff Daddy, his reality show called Making the Band, which launched the girl group Danity Kane back in 2005. He said it would be returning to MTV, prompting fans to urge him to bring back Danity Kane. And Aubrey O'Day's response on Twitter was, you know he can't finish any artist that he starts. Because somebody had put up a post, someone by the name of Eric on Twitter said, they can keep the Making of the Band reboot if it doesn't involve Danity Kane, Dawn Richard, Aubrey O'Day, Shannon Bex, Day 26 Official, Day 26, Donnie K. Lane, Willie Taylor, Andrea Fembres 1, I am Laurie Ann G, Brooklyn Babs, your girl Woods, your girl D Woods, MTV, I'm just saying. He said we need the originals back. According to Wendy Williams, though, that sounds like sour grapes to her. She's saying that what Aubrey O'Day said sounded like she was bitter. Okay? Because she says, you know that Puff Daddy can't finish any artist he starts, but she did not lie. Where did she lie? Anyway, it says, Aubrey, and you know I like you, but I'm calling it like I see it. The media personality said Thursday on her show, Thursday, which was the night, somewhere around the 18th or 19th. She says, you're more successful at reality TV than you are with music, and I don't know one Aubrey or Danity Kane song, and that's real. And she said a whole bunch of stuff about Danity Kane. And I have the clip from that show as well, and I want to play it for you just so I can give this conversation some context, you guys. Wendy Williams calls herself talking back to Aubrey O'Day. Well, let's see what she said. I can tell you right now, I don't care for, again, this is some commentary that Wendy Williams made, and she really didn't know what she was talking about. She kind of was caping for, she was caping for Puff Daddy, and y'all take a listen to this.
She is being slammed by Aubrey O'Day. Well, you know, Aubrey was the Beyonce of the Danity Kane group, and she was on Making in the Band. She also has pretty good reality. I don't know anything about her singing anymore. I barely recognize. What did Aubrey used to look like?
What did you used to look like,
Can
Wendy?
you drum that? Can we drum up a picture? Perfect camera shot, Deb. You caught him. Yes, sir. Well, you know, and she's really young. Like, you don't start doing that kind of stuff until you get a particular age. Now she's gonna have to keep up all this filler and work and stuff for the rest of her. I don't even. She's 35. Honey. Anyway, I like Aubrey, though. She's been here on the show. But earlier this week, remember, Puff announced that he was returning with that show, Making of the Band. And one of his fans tweeted and asked Puff that he should have Aubrey O'Day and Danity Kane return. And so Aubrey responded by saying, you know he can't finish any artist he starts.
He can't. She didn't lie. Where was the lie? Not one lie was told.
That sounds like sour grapes. I mean, Aubrey, and you know I like you, but I'm calling it like I see it. Like, you're more successful at reality TV than you are with music. I don't know one Aubrey or Danity song.
I don't
And
either,
that's
but
real. Do
still.
you? Clap if you do.
I know Puff Daddy.
But clap if you saw her on Apprentice. And yeah, she did Apprentice, and what else did she do most?
Did this show called Famously Single,
Famously Single,
which
right.
met Pauly D.
Right.
On X on the Beach right now.
Right. Oh. So she's good at that, but maybe not so much at the singing. Listen, Aubrey, Sour Grapes, he might not have finished with Danity Kane, but maybe that's because you all thought you were bigger than
He
you
didn't
really
finish
were
with
when you
nobody.
weren't listening to the master, as I said before. You know, Little Kim was created by Puffy. She's a legend and icon.
Created. She wasn't created by Puffy. Little Kim was not created by Puff Daddy.
Mary J. Blige. You know, Biggie Small. Janelle Monáe. French
Where is
Montana,
Biggie
Machine Gun Kelly.
to this
Where do
day?
you want to go with this, Aubrey? Get your facts. That's all.
I gotta get out of here. I gotta think.
Okay, now you see what she said about Aubrey O'Day, as if Aubrey O'Day was lying on Puff Daddy, and I can assure you that she wasn't. Look, I grew up with Bad Boy records and Bad Boy music. I remember when Puff Daddy got killed. I was a teenager when he got killed. I'm not Puff Daddy. When Biggie Smalls got killed, I was there. When Tupac died, I mean, I was around. I remember all of this. I was old enough to remember because I used to listen to all of their music. And Danity Kane did not tell not one lie, okay? Puff Daddy started off as a personal assistant to Father MC. If y'all remember Father MC from back in the day, 88, 89, he made If You Do For Me, If You Do For Me, I'll Do For You. The song he made, If You Do For Me, I'll Do For You, or whatever the name was, rap, you know, Father MC. Anyway, he went on to become a producer. And he did work with Biggie, of course, we know that. He did work with Little Kim and Faith Evans and all of them. Stevie J from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, of course. But the ones that succeeded literally had to break away from Puff Daddy. They got away from him because we all know that Puff Daddy does some very shrewd business deals. He's not the most honest or straightforward person in the industry. I think he has amassed his fortune because of his weaseling his way through these contracts and beating people out of money. I just don't believe all the money that Puff Daddy made, he made it honestly, okay? But everybody who has fooled with Puff Daddy either winds up dead, in jail, or broke. The ones that succeeded, she mentioned Janelle Monáe. I don't know exactly the full connection there. I'm going to have to do some research on that. But everybody else she mentioned, clearly they did not succeed. They had to leave. They had to basically split away, break away from Puff Daddy to even accomplish anything in the music industry. Little Kim talked about him. She sort of talked about him back a few years ago on one of the BET Awards. She didn't go into details, but she kind of talked about him then. And I knew what she was talking about because I knew the history. So, no, look at, unfortunately, Biggie is dead, and I don't care what anybody say. Puff Daddy got something to do with that. That's just my opinion. But there was not one lie told by Aubrey O'Day. Day 26, and there are some other acts that Puff Daddy came out with. I can't even think of all the names of the acts that he started with that are no more. He doesn't finish any act that he starts. He called Aubrey O'Day arrogant or whatever. He says that she was getting too big for her britches or she was getting too big for the group or whatever. He's the same way. I don't know what the problem is, but Puff Daddy cannot finish any act that he starts. What happened to the two black girls that he came out with about 7-8 years ago? I can't even think of their names. One of them was on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta one season. He doesn't finish anybody he starts. Nobody he starts, he finishes. I mean, seriously. The people that do succeed, that have worked with Puff Daddy, have literally had to break out from under him, had to break away from him to even accomplish anything in the industry. If y'all don't believe me, do your own research. You'll find out he's not responsible for all of that. I don't know. I just, in a lot of ways, I think Puff Daddy's ego is too big. And I think anybody that threatens to be bigger than him or that gets more attention than him, I think he cuts them down. That's what I believe happens. So I'm sorry. I just don't believe anybody. I just don't agree with Wendy Williams. She was caping for Puff Daddy. That's her friend. That's her homie. She's doing what she's always done. Aubrey O'Day was not lying on Puff Daddy. She was telling the truth. He can't finish an act that he started. It ain't just Danity Kane, okay? So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. Wendy Williams didn't really know what she was talking about. She was talking out of her like for Puff Daddy, and she was just caping for him because that's what she does. She talked about Aubrey's plastic surgery because she was so young having plastic surgery. Well, Wendy Williams, that ain't got nothing to do with you. You yourself have had a lot of plastic surgery also. Talk about that, and you're going to need some more. And by the way, this lymphedema that the doctors have diagnosed Wendy Williams with, that swelling of her legs and whatnot, I read somewhere that can stem from breast implants. Perhaps, maybe if Wendy Williams gets rid of her breast implants, perhaps her lymphedema will go away. I'm just dropping a little tea. If anybody want to go and tell Wendy Williams that, because maybe nobody told her that, perhaps that will help her, y'all. That's just a little information to help Wendy, okay? So anyway, now, the most recent thing we've heard before I get to the biopic is that Wendy Williams has finally, her and Kelvin have finally put their home up for sale in New Jersey, okay? And this article I am about to read now also comes from page 6. It says Wendy Williams and Kelvin Hunter's family home goes up for sale amid their divorce. And usually when you hear about a couple putting their house up for sale when they're going through a divorce, that means they're almost at the end, okay? They're now trying to split and liquidate assets, okay? It says Wendy Williams is moving on from her marital home. The daytime talk show host, age 55, has listed her and Kevin Hunter's family home in suburban Livingston, New Jersey. The estranged couple is asking $1.9 million for the home, and they're poised to take a hit on it, as they paid $2.1 million for the property, which is located in the luxury Bel Air gated community. So they're going to lose about $300,000. It says, well, no, about $200,000. About $200,000. The listing comes after Williams filed for divorce from Hunter this spring. She moved out of the home earlier this year and into an apartment in New York City, where her daily talk show is taped. Her son, Kevin Hunter Jr., is expected to return to college for his sophomore year in the fall, so it makes sense that the family would decide to unload their 5-bedroom, 4.5-bath home. The estate also features an oversized, full-furnished basement, according to a newly released listing on Realtor.com. The first floor private master suite includes a marble master bath, a jacuzzi tub, steam shower, and private sitting room. They are willing to take a loss on the house, just like with their marriage, a source said. Wendy was so quick to move out of the house after filing for a divorce that she wanted to not be in the house to be reminded of all of the memories, both good and bad. As page 6 previously reported, Kevin Sr. once called the police on Williams when she showed up to the house with a moving truck and tried to pack her belongings. The estranged couple ultimately came to a compromise, and Williams walked away with her clothing, personal paintings, and spare bedroom furnishings. Mr. and Mrs. Hunter mutually agreed to these terms and further agreed that the remaining furnishings were to be undisturbed, inventoried, and valued at a later date. Read the police report obtained by page 6. Now she'll be able to pack up the rest. So now that home is on the market, and good for her. And y'all, I looked at the pictures of the house, the grounds of the house, the external grounds of the house, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. The tennis court, the swimming pool, and everything else at the house is absolutely gorgeous, okay? But the inside of the house don't look all that good. The interior design is not hitting on much. To me, it's kind of dated. It's got a lot of dark wood trim in it, and it's got those black and white checkerboard floors. It's very personalized, and whoever buys that house is going to have to change a lot of color and things inside the house. And it's got this almost spiral type staircase in it. It's made beautiful. The kitchen is not very much to the kitchen. It's a very simple kitchen, but it's just not what I thought it was going to be. I thought the house was going to be extremely luxurious and lavish on the inside. It's really not. You could tell that it was designed exactly, specifically for Wendy Williams and Kelvin Hunter. So somebody's going to have to basically make that house their own. I was reading in another article that because of the mass hysteria that surrounded this house, once they put it on the market, they had to literally take it off the market. And they had to do like a private listing of it. And this was on The Blast, and it says her New Jersey mansion was taken off public market amid divorce drama. Wendy Williams' New Jersey mansion is suddenly at the center of more controversy than the talk show maven herself. The Livingston, New Jersey mansion that served as the former marital home for Williams and her estranged husband, Kevin Hunter, hit the public real estate market on Thursday, this past Thursday. Sources close to the situation tell the Blast that both Wendy and Kevin were well aware that the home was going up for sale, but apparently the public listing drew so much attention that the real estate agent was asked to take it off the market immediately. So what they did was, it says the Zillow listing now shows the property as off market, but we're told that the mansion is still very much available as a private listing. We're told that it may reappear back on the public market, but that won't happen until the divorce proceedings between Wendy and Kevin are further along. So it says, speaking of the Zillow page, as we reported, the listing for the property was hacked when it went live. And it, what did it say? Hold on, y'all. When it went live and touted a description of the home as cheater-ass Kevin Hunter and innocent Wendy Williams' former home. That's what they put in the description, y'all. Cheater-ass Kevin Hunter and innocent Wendy Williams' former home. Sources tell the Blast that someone had actually claimed ownership of the property on Zillow before the verified agent made the listing. So when the mansion was activated for a sale, it automatically went up with the erroneous information and locked everyone else out. Zillow had to get involved and take control of the page to remove the unsavory comments. We're told that Zillow is now investigating the situation and backtracking the IP address of the person who claimed that they owned the property. So yes, y'all, you see it was a lot of mess centered around that. People hacking the page and everything, pretending that the house was already bought and whatnot. And so they had to take it off the market and list it privately. And I'm pretty sure it'll be sold soon, though, because everybody, I'm sure, wants that house. You know how people are. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting. Good for her. Maybe now she can get some closure. They're finally getting to the end of this thing. Yep, so I just wanted to update y'all on that. But the last thing I want to mention is the scandalous details have been revealed about the upcoming Wendy Williams biopic on LifeTime, y'all. I hope LifeTime do that woman right. Wendy Williams has said that she's going to have her hand in everything, and she's going to make sure that this particular biopic does some justice. She says, okay, it's going to be just what she wants. And I found out from listening to, shout out to Daytime Tea Time. I like Daytime Tea Time on YouTube. She gives some good information, you guys. So it came from her. She actually let us know that there was a movie made about Wendy Williams already back in 2011, but the movie was never released because Wendy Williams was not happy with the production of it, and I get why. Daytime Tea Time showed a clip from the movie. She showed a long clip from the movie. It was made back again in 2011, and the person that they had playing Wendy Williams, I don't know why Wendy chose this person. I can't even imagine why. She don't look like her, act like her, talk like her. She did not embody Wendy Williams at all, but the person she chose was Robin Givens. Baby, they had to put Robin Givens on light-skinned face and a blonde wig. It just was horrible. It was horrible. And, of course, it never made it to production, and it wasn't the time for it anyway. I think if you know, more things have happened, more truths have come out, so it was good that that didn't get released in 2011. Y'all, it was bad. It was real bad. But listen, this article says here from the Atlantic Black Star, says the recently announced Wendy Williams biopic is not going to wipe clean the former radio host history. The Wendy Williams show host has written several books about her life and has been open about her issues with drug abuse, and the Lifetime flick about her past will tackle it all. Sources with the Women Focus Network told TMZ on Sunday that the movie will cover her life from age 10 to 55. All aspects of her upbringing and rise to fame, from her family fat-shaming her as a child to her later coke addiction. Sexcapades and a previously untold allegation of being date raped by a top-charting performer will be covered. It'll also tackle Williams facing racism and sexism in Hollywood, and as her divorce from Kevin Hunter looms large. That and their marriage will also be covered in the documentary. It's not clear, however, whether or not rumors of his abuse against her or his rumored love child with Mistress Sharina Hudson will be chronicled. Insiders added that Williams' relationship with Monique, who has claimed her marital woes are karma for her spreading gossip, will also be part of the biopic. As previously reported, Will Packard, who is responsible for Night School and Girls Trip, will be producing the movie alongside Wendy Williams. The script will be helmed by Lee Davenport and is responsible for writing who is responsible for writing the TV adaptation of the hit 1992 romantic comedy Boomerang. The movie is said to be titled Just Wendy and is due out next year, with production beginning this fall. It is described as a TV effort depicting the talk show host's scrappy upstart days in urban radio to the success of her own syndicated talk show. Williams will not play herself in the movie. She told TMZ photographers last week, but a source told the outlet that two different actresses will portray her. Williams wants them to be unknown stars because I don't want the distraction from the story. She added auditions will begin very soon. I should go out, but I ain't light enough. Anyway, that says two different people. She says she wants them to be unknown actresses, and I think that she should make sure that they're unknown. I think that's a good idea. He says this is not the first time Williams, who has been hosting her talk show for 10 seasons, has attempted to get a movie made about her real life. The unreleased Queen of Media was a 2008 effort that Williams and her estranged husband financed, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported. It was started in 2008, but I think they finished in 2011. It starred Robin Givens. It was loosely based on Williams' autobiography, Wendy's Got the Heat, which was a 2001 New York Times bestseller. It had been set for release in 2011, but ultimately got delayed, and eventually it was shelved. Although Williams has said it will never see the light of day, clips have since leaked online, and those were the clips that Daytime Tea Time showed us as well. So yes, this biopic is going to be coming out. It's going to be unknown actresses, which I think is good. And y'all, when I say this, I'm not trying to be mean. This is not a hit against Wendy Williams' appearance or anything like that. A lot of people, as a matter of fact, people that call her a man and try to assume and say, oh, that ain't nothing but a man. I get mad when they say that. I don't like that. I know Wendy Williams is a woman. I know that she birthed her son. She is a woman. She can't help that she's funny built. She can't help she's built like that. But I will say, to me, in my opinion, the best person to play Wendy Williams, the best individual or type of individual to play Wendy Williams, if they cannot find a woman that is as tall as her and has as longer limbs as her, as bigger hands, big feet, that carries themselves like Wendy Williams, that favors her she ain't got to look just like her, but somebody that can embody her mannerism. If they cannot find a female, I think the best person to find to play Wendy would honestly be a man. I hate to say it, somebody like a RuPaul, or somebody a little bit stronger than RuPaul, but somebody RuPaulish. A man that they have dressed up like a woman. I'm not trying to be funny, but if you want to embody Wendy Williams and her, that flaming personality she has, because she has the behavior of what people assume that a what am I trying to say? Like a female impersonator would have. A man that is a female impersonator that looks like her, tall, long legs, long arms, long feet, big mouth, talks a lot. That is the person, the individual that I think would best embody Wendy Williams because of her mannerism, not because of how she looks, but because of the way she carries herself. Wendy Williams is over the top. There's no average woman acts and carries herself the way Wendy Williams does. Wendy is real dramatic in the way she acts and carries herself. Oh my God, how you doing? How you doing? That is indicative of, to me, female impersonators act like that. And I think a man that does that for a living, perhaps, would be the best person or individual to play Wendy Williams, the adult Wendy Williams in the movie. I don't know who would make a good child star for her, but that could be anybody. They can find a lot of chunky teenagers or 19, 20-year-olds that can portray Wendy Williams. There's a lot of people out there. I know some people that favored Wendy before she had all her surgery and changed herself the way she has. I know a couple of people that resemble her right now that could play her. But anyway, that's just my opinion, y'all. Again, it has nothing to do with how she looks. The woman can't help how she looks, but it's more about her mannerism and the way that she carries herself. That's why I say a man, a female impersonator would be a good person to portray Wendy in a movie. Okay, unless they can find a woman that acts like that. Hey, that's just my opinion. But anyway, that's all I wanted to state. Again, I am not really interested in watching the biopic next year. I don't believe that Wendy Williams is going to tell us everything we want to know, or that people generally want to know. I think we really know enough about Wendy Williams. I think I personally know all I want to know. I think that if I watch it, it'll be just to see who they chose to play her, the young Wendy and the old Wendy. And I want to see if the person that they chose can actually carry that role. I want to see that, and I want to see just how much Wendy Williams tells in that movie, okay? A lot of people seem to think or under the impression that Wendy Williams is afraid to tell everything about what Kelvin Hunter says because she's not supposed to, she probably can't talk about it, but that's not really true. As long as it involves her, this is her life. She was involved in this situation. This stuff happened to her. Kelvin Hunter did these things to her. She has a right to talk about them. She can talk about them, and there's really nothing that he can do because it involves her. You know what I'm saying? It's not like she's leaving herself out. But I also, again, I don't believe she's going to tell everything. And I want to see if Wendy Williams is going to be honest and tell about the wrong that she did in the marriage and how she encouraged or allowed Kelvin Hunter to actually date another woman. How they kind of almost had an open marriage at one point. Is she going to admit that? Is she going to confess her role in his adultery and whatnot? That's all I want to know. She needs to be honest. She needs to be sincere, and she needs to come across like, if all cards on the table, let them be on the table, honey. So anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about Wendy Williams. I want to say thank you, Mimi the cat, for checking on me once again. And there were some things that you wanted me to talk about, but this video is too long already, so I'm going to do it in another video. You told me about Robert F. Kennedy, his granddaughter dying from an apparent overdose. You wanted me to talk about the American Idol alum that got caught with all those drugs on her, and I'm going to do that in a separate video coming up next. And also, I found out, there's an ex-government person. He's one of the ex-senators or somebody. His name is Bob or Dave or somebody Weissman, and how he was so hateful against Obama. And now he wants to apologize to Obama. Today is Obama's birthday. Happy birthday, Barack Obama, President Obama. But anyway, he wants to apologize, and I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. But yes, I'm going to have to do that in another video, honey. So anyway, yeah. Thank you for tuning in to Fair Play. I missed you guys. Sorry it's taking me so long to do another video. I promise you I'm going to do better. All right, y'all. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.